Hello, welcome back to the channel. So, with the final character of version 3 being revealed, at least I assume since I doubt we're gonna get a 3.9 or anything, this is the first version that has not had a single 4-star in it. Like, yeah, we did get Remembrance MC, but they're still technically a 5-star. And I have seen a lot of people saying that the game needs more 4-stars, but, like, this is something that I've kind of felt for a while now. Do people actually want more 4-stars? Or are people just saying that because we haven't gotten them? Because people will say that they do until the character they like is one. I mean, Gallagher and Mose are perfect examples of this. When they were released, so many people were complaining that they weren't 5-star, which, I can't understand because they didn't think they had, good designs. And I can almost guarantee, if any of the Euphoria's characters were 4-stars, people would not be happy at all. Like, the main problem with 4-stars is they are almost always going to be worse than, like, their 5-star counterpart, especially if they are damage dealers, because their stats are just going to be inherently lower. I mean, there's a reason almost all of the good 4-stars have been supports, because they just don't do good damage like the 5-stars do. And they're also just overall not as exciting for most people as 5-stars. Usually, have less exciting kits, and then being a 4-star makes them seem less important and just less exciting in general. Like, I don't think the problem is the lack of 4-stars, it is the lack of consistent way of getting good characters. Because only having 5-stars for the game can work if the game was built around it. But right now, it is just not. We're getting, more 5-stars than ever without really a great way of getting them. Now, it is getting a bit better, with the amount of free 5-stars we've been getting. Just in version 3 we got Ron May / Woja, or still decent characters. I use them both on my casters team. Archer, who is still one of the best DPSs in the game right now. Permance or Terra, I still don't know if that's how you pronounce it, is an insane sustain, and in this patch we are getting Topaz for free, who, while not an insane character, is still good, and I do think people kind of underrate her because she's still fine for, follow-up teams and that kind of stuff. And if they keep going at this rate, especially if we get more supports like Ron May, because I think that's kind of the one type of characters that we've been getting that is kind of lacking, because they've mostly been either damage dealers or sustains and that kind of thing. I do think then this problem could get alleviated a lot more. The bigger problem, I think, is the lack of Jades. I think that is the big problem. In my opinion, we should be guaranteed to get one 5-star every patch. So you would get a new character every 1 or 2 patches, depending on if you win the 50-50 or not. But right now, it's not really like that at all. You might be able to, if you're able to beat the endgame content. But to beat the endgame content, you need the characters. But to get the J's to get the characters, you need to beat the endgame content. So, that's kind of the problem. There are a lot of teams where if you don't have a specific character, you might as well just not build them at all. I mean, Aglaya is a good example of this. If you don't have Sunday, Tingyun can work, but it is just so much worse than the 5-star alternative option. And and adding more 4-stars could maybe help with this, but I feel like it would just give people lesser options that would, 1, be not as fun, and 2, might not even be that good. Now, I'm not even totally against adding more 4-stars, as long as they aren't, pre-established characters, because if someone like Skrullum finally became playable and he was a 4-star, I think people would riot. But I'm not totally against them or for them. I just think that if they are going to only do 5-stars, then they need to make it easier for us to get the characters. So I think that, 1, it would just be more fun since you're actually able to play the team in the best way that it's meant to be, and not have it feel kind of janky. Or hell, even just do both, give us more Jades and more 4-stars. But honestly, I kind of doubt that they're going to do that. And obviously, I'm not saying they have to spend money right now to be able to beat the content. A lot of people have beaten it, free to play. The problem is more so that it just feels bad trying to get characters. I mean, only getting 20 pulls from events in 3.6, insane, man. Come on. There really needs to be more events, not just for Jades, but for just content in general, because half the patch, it feels like there is nothing to do, and having more events would allow us to both get more 5-stars easier, and give people more stuff to do at the same time. Since a lot of people will, play stuff just for the Jades, even if they don't enjoy it. I think the main problem when it comes to discussing 4-stars is whether you look at it from, a gameplay side, or from a more story / general excitement side of things. Because from a gameplay standpoint, 4-stars could help, give people more options, instead of having, one character hold an entire team together, assuming they would be good, because if they were mediocre, it would kind of just add to the problem instead of fixing it. But I feel like the just giving us the free 5 stars could also be a solution instead of the 4 stars. But from a story perspective, it does make sense for the characters we have gotten to be 5 stars. Like, all the Christos heirs are meant to be these god-like characters, so them being 5 stars does make sense. And I feel that it made people way more excited for each character than they might have been otherwise if they were a 4 star. And hey, maybe now that Amphorius is over, we will get more in the next planet, but I kind of doubt it. Also, I think that even if we did get a 4 star, at this point, would people, even really care that much? Since I feel like they would just kind of think that they just aren't as important and aren't as interesting. So they would kind of just immediately write them off, Now, alternate forms like Hunt March could also be a good alternative to 4 stars, since it gives people more options for characters and brings back some old characters that people might not really have been using and gives them a whole new life. But with March getting a 5 star version and them seemingly only keeping the path switching to the MC, I kind of doubt that that's going to happen. And also, I feel like a lot of people would rather them just buff the characters that we already have than give them a whole new kit, At the end of the day, I can't see arguments for both, 4 stars and against them. But I do feel like a lot of people say that they want them, but then get upset when we actually get them, And, if Hoyo is going to go down this only 5 star route, they need to make changes to accommodate for that. If we just didn't have any from the start of the game, I don't think this would be as big of a problem. But because we did have them, and now they're changing it so that we only get 5 stars, in a game that is made around having 4 stars, it's just kind of create this problem where it feels like there's not enough resources to get everything. So whether they add more 4 stars, or give us an easier way to get the newer characters, they just need to do something, because a lot of people are getting annoyed with the power group and not being able to make good teams. It's just gonna make that problem even worse. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.